You stumbled into a show. Most likely, they forced the fun upon you with one of those suggested videos thrown in your face of my crazy smile. Yeah, that's right. I'm the star of Smile 3, Frown Turn. Just kidding. But now that you're here, stick around for them's what makes Peter Vincent pretend to cry, them's Saw movies slicing through the plot as you puzzle your way through a sequel in real 3D, and a mashup of the Garbage Pail Kids, Gremlins, and Home Alone, and a spotlight on this weird new movie. So let's start the show.
Crack open a cold box of wine or pour something cold on ice because it's the Binge-Watchers podcast.
According to Bloody Disgusting, the new Toxic Avenger movie is the first unrated horror movie at Comic-Con. Citizen Toxie has come so far. By the way, Toxie 2 and 3 were supposed to be one movie, and now there's like a new cut coming out called Mr. Melvin. There's also this little movie called Tow, as in towing a car. It sounds pretty good. Here's what it's supposed to be about. A woman loses the car she's living in because it gets stolen and then towed away, and then she battles red tape to get her home back because the car is her home. In tonight's movie, a mad scientist in them Frankenstein times injects his daughter with monster blood and expects different results than a rampage in a movie called The Creeping Flesh. Spoiler alert, she murders people, and the operation to make her less crazy fails. Like certain films from other producers, this is often mistaken for a Hammer production. That was caused by the participation of the Hammer veterans, you know, those lead actors Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. Wait a minute. No. I said at the top of the thing, what makes Peter Vincent cry? That's hilarious. People are going to be like, what are you talking about? I always get the character Peter Vincent mixed up with the actual real Peter Cushing. That's hilarious. I don't know how often I say that, but I say that quite often. That's freaking hilarious. All right. All right. We'll be right back with our favorite bits from The Creeping Flesh. Not with Peter Vincent, because he's a fictional character, but with Peter Cushing. All right. Should I redo that intro? No. I'm going to let it slide and see if anybody catches me. All right. We'll be right back with our favorite bits after these messages. Sign up for Headspace today and get a 14-day free trial. Headspace brings accessible mental health support to everyone through their app, offering meditations, sleep casts, movement, and focus tools. Their expert team of clinicians, producers, and data scientists helps millions live healthier, more productive lives. It's in my Johnny Spoiler link tree. Grab my app link, go sign up for Headspace today, and get a 14-day free trial. Enjoy 30 days of Hulu for free. Attention, you serial show watchers and champions of the remote. Grab your trusty binge-watching blanket and enjoy Hulu free. Also, in my Johnny Spoiler links, get your 30 days of Hulu for free. By the way, and Always Sunny, a new season is dropping, so go ahead. Watch the whole season for free. You just gotta download, or just go to the app, get the link, or let me back up. Grab my link, download the app, and then you'll have the new season of Always Sunny, which is like dropping pretty much this week, I think, as I'm recording this. Anyway, alright. Frankie Freako will be available on digital from July 14th. Workaholic yuppie Connor is in some kind of existential rut until one night he catches a bizarre ad for a party hotline hosted by a strange dancing goblin named Frankie Freako. Could this just be the recipe for spice to spice up his boring life? That movie is called Frankie Freako. All right, back to our favorite bits from the show already in progress. I don't know, about 10 or 15 minutes into this movie, I was like, oh no. I said oh no because I was like, it's going to be real hard to say anything nice about this movie for the favorite bits segment of the show. Like I said, it's going to be hard to say anything nice about this movie. We have a special rating system on the show. Binge now, binge later, binge never. Basically, how I explain that is, watch it now, add it to the playlist, but get around to it, or don't watch it. You can't get the 2 hours of your life back. Stay away from this movie at all cost. Binge now, binge later, binge never. Sometimes when we're watching scary movies in the summertime, we like to say, scream now, scream later, scream never. Where does this one land? All right, I'll tell you. This movie seems like two different movies smashed together. You got Christopher Lee in an asylum abusing the patients. Then you got Peter Cushing in a lab in two time periods set maybe 5 to 10 years apart, telling his story. The twist? Peter Cushing is a patient, and nobody believes him that the ape-skulled flesh monster came back to life and bit off his finger and drove his daughter mad. I mean, at one point, the daughter goes all lady in red and dances in a pub, and we think she's going to hook up with a Londoner, and we're going to get ourselves a steamy scene here to heat up this drivel. No, what ends up happening is she has to fight off a predator instead. I mean, I also think the movie makes Peter Cushing look like a rejected theater student that didn't actually break into acting. I mean, this movie might be forgotten. He probably hopes it's forgotten. It's free on all the channels if you want to watch it. It's readily available, unlike some of the other things we watch that you have to really scour the earth for. But it's awful, and he's awful in it, and it makes him look awful. And so you're like, dang, man. All right. It's Summer/7, so we're watching the 7th entry in the movies. That's the game we're playing, right? Get it? The 7th time around that we've done this Summer/thing, and so we're like, what horror movie franchises have a 7th entry? You know what I'm saying? Anyway. All right. Saw 3D. That's what it was called when it came out, not to be confused with Saw Part 3, Saw 3D. So later on, they gave it a different subtitle called The Final Chapter. Because this Part 7 was supposed to be the bookend. Jigsaw and this FBI agent, they're duking it out for who's going to be the biggest sociopath in the movie. The sequel ends up making a ton of cash, so they're like, oh, the Saw movies didn't die after all, and they're going to keep going. I mean, this one starts with like the ongoing Saw movie soap opera. So if you haven't seen the previous sequels, it takes about 5 minutes to figure out what's happening. Jigsaw basically, he accidentally teaches this FBI agent how to break bad and saw people in half, and so they have a beef with each other. And then meanwhile, the original survivor, who is Jigsaw's official apprentice, has beef with the writer, making money on pretending to be a victim. Whatever. And it's all in 3D. The acting is awful, and the kills are not gross enough or artistic enough to provide some kind of substance, and there's no philosophical metaphor merits here that horror movies often do to justify the grossness or the murders or whatever they're trying to say visually, So who cares? I mean, it was just Part 7, and we have to watch the 7th part for Summer/7. Again, like I said, that's the game we're playing. And you want to know why I'm saying game so much? Because that's the whole concept of Saw. It's like, oh, it's a game. It's a game you're playing with a little wooden puppet named Jigsaw. Anyway. The Frankie Freako people actually sent me a screener of this Frankie Freako movie, so I could tell you how freaky it is. It's like watching Garbage Pail Kids act like Gremlins while doing Home Alone-style pranks that turn violent. It's pretty good stuff. I mean, I noticed they laughed out loud 3 or 4 times. I mean, it does fall apart where they try to introduce alternate dimensions in the 3rd act, and the reason for the goblins to be messing up the main character's life. But if you can call it a horror movie, you can call it a zany horror movie. If you can call a horror movie zany, that's what it is. And if you like The Void, and Manborg and Psycho Gorman. It's from the same filmmakers. I mean, hey, you don't gotta stay here. I screwed up my outro. Okay, take 2, take 3,000. Okay, in 3D. Let's watch my mistakes in 3D. I would watch. That would be really funny if somebody actually exported bloopers from movies but put them in 3D, spent the money to put them in real 3D, and it's like did the outtakes in 3D. There'd be no reason to pay for the processing on that. Like you're not going to process the 3D film for the stuff we're leaving on the cutting room floor, but it would be funny as hell. What I'm supposed to say when I get towards the end, why I screwed myself up today was because I aim for longer episodes, but I had nothing good to say about that movie of the night, So nothing good to say about The Creeping Flesh. Once again, playfully confused Peter Vincent, who's a fictional character from a vampire movie, who's based on, he's a parody of Peter Cushing from the Hammer horror movies that are out there. Like his character's written based on a guy that would have been in movies like Peter Cushing anyway. That's why I get them confused, because they're essentially the same character on film. When Peter Cushing plays, Van Helsing, Peter Vincent is like a Van Helsing type in Fright Night. Roddy McDowall, though, what's funny? Roddy McDowall and Peter Cushing are both labeled. They're both British and they're both labeled B-movie level actors. But I think Roddy might be the better actor of the two, honestly, especially after watching The Creeping Flesh. Anyway. So I was internally panicking while I was recording because I was like, oh, this episode's going to be real short because even if I delay, even if I stammer on or go off on a tangent about how I don't like Saw 3D and it was a torturous waste of my time, I'm also going to get stuck because there's just not enough meat from The Creeping Flesh of all things to have a standard, episode. And I try to deliver the goods for about 20 minutes. I feel like that's your money's worth right there. Anything less, it's a little short of an episode, and I feel like this entry for SummerSlam gonna be a little short. I mean, I said some good things, but it's just I'm not gonna make myself available for full 20. So I was trying to do the outro, and the outro is supposed to go like this. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. It's like that song Closing Time. And then I was gonna say, if you're adulting out there, go do some adult stuff. Go do some adult fun. If you're an adult, go do something that's fun for adults. That's what I was going to say. Anyway, next time on SummerSlam7, we're going to watch this movie called I Like Bats and Wes Craven's New Nightmare, the 7th entry in a Nightmare on Elm Street series. I think I Like Bats is a sleazy vampire romp. We'll find out. And obviously, any entry from a Freddy Krueger movie is something to look forward to, except for the remake, maybe. The one that doesn't have Robert Englund. Wow. Yeah. All right. I'll pump it up here at the end, not have a weak ending. I like to have a lucky 13. We've been rambling on for about 13 minutes. That sounds lucky to me. Is it lucky for you? Hit the craps tables. Your lucky number. Roll 13 black. Is that craps? No, craps is dice, right? Roll 7s or stay away from 7s. How does that go? And the other one is the wheel. If you pick numbers, it's the wheel. Is that right? I don't know. Gambler's a good song. You ever heard that? See you next time.